Hello and welcome everybody. Jack Acid with ApexHead.com bringing you episode 3 of the F1 2013 I Am No Expert series here on a rainy day in China, and I do apologize, but somehow I lost all the qualifying capture for this race, and I should just point out that I qualified in P11, not able to get out of Q2. Of course, that was in dry conditions. So as you can see here, scheduled to start on wet tires, and unlike our race in Malaysia, we have no scheduled pit stop for this race, and that could be important. Though I'm not really sure what to make of it. Again, we have identical conditions from Sepang last race, and we pit in lap 7 there, but this time being asked to go the entire race length without changing tires, so we'll have to find out what kind of an impact that has. Going over the starting grid here as we get started, Fernando Alonso on pole position with Sebastian Vettel in P2, and the Mercedes with Hamilton leading Rosberg lined up 3 and 4. Our teammate Kimi Räikkönen lined up in P6, and looks like Sergio Perez in P8, Jenson Button in P10. And looking at the middle of the grid, no real surprises. Esteban Gutierrez all the way down into P18, so something happened to the young Mexicans qualifying session here at the start of China. Lined up behind Jenson Button, staring at the back of the Sauber, and here we go to start. And a little bit slippery coming off the line. Jenson Button drifting just in front of us, going to stay on the outside here. And here come the Force India cars. There goes Adrian Sutil, and here comes Pastor Maldonado as we come down into a very windy turn 1 and 2. And trying to stay on the outside to avoid any contact. Jenson Button not giving me a lot of room. Trying to find some real estate here as it slows down. And finding a little bit here. But not much. Wheel to wheel coming around here. 3 cars wide, now 4 cars wide. And trying to get our grip coming out of the exit and getting overtaken by Jenson Button, and the Force India car start to lose the back end. Maldonado able to get around us now, scrapping with Paul di Resta in the Force India car. Let's see if we can make up some positions coming down here into turn 6, which is typically reasonably slow. Now wheel to wheel with Maldonado coming around the corner and able to get in front of the Williams and trying to get our grip to try and compete with Jenson Button coming out of the exit, but it's not going to happen. Going to have to fall back. Following his tail light here through turn 7, a very wide sweeping left-hander, and turn 8. Very easy to lose the curb as you come around the corner there, coming around Jenson Button a little bit too fast. Let's see if we can find some room on the inside. Not going to happen. This is also a very deceptive corner. Have to make sure you get your angle right. Easier said than done, and you can see the McLaren able to make up some ground. Still having problems with their grip here with wet tires here near the end of lap 1. And trying to catch up with Jenson. Coming down into turn 11, a very slow corner for the AI. Also easy to come in too fast. Now barely touching the curb there. Want to avoid that with these kinds of conditions. Coming into turn 13, extremely long corner. Trying to get as much momentum as we can to come down the long back straight. And now you can see Bottas has overtaken P13. So let's see what kind of a speed test we get from the Lotus as we get chased down by the Williams. No DRS activated and probably will not be activated. And you can see actually pretty good pace with the Williams car. So that makes me feel pretty good that P12 speed is just about right. Getting caught up with the field. Coming down here into the very, very hard braking zone here at turn 14, and short of having a problem here at turn 16, the final corner before the end of the lap, we are going to be coming in at P12, so we've lost 1 position. Pretty scrappy first lap, especially the first couple of sectors on the circuit, and now being told by my engineer just how poor the conditions are, and I have to agree, have to think this is actually a little bit worse than Malaysia, the last race. So here nearing the end of lap 3, coming down the long back straight and finally getting caught up with the Force India car and the McLaren here, but unfortunately braking a little bit too late to make any kind of a move, so let's see if we can at least keep the gap close. Here at the start of lap 4, coming around turn 16 yet again, and actually kind of thankful to have the cars. For some reason I have a hard time seeing my braking spot there, and sometimes roll up over the curb, but as you can see, making up some ground and not touching the fastest lap on the circuit, but at least we're shaving off some time. Let's see if we can catch up with this field coming around turn 3, and you can see almost going off onto the grass there, but fortunately able to find our line in the nick of time and get very, very close to Sutil, and again, having a very hard time getting acceleration coming out of most of the corners, but if I can keep things close coming into a hard braking zone corner like this one, might be able to make a move on Sutil. Let's see what we can do. Able to get around the Force India car, going wide here, and rolling up over the curb, and there he goes on the inside. So again, just a little bit too aggressive on my part, cannot get the position. But here at turn 11, here on lap 5, we'd have another chance. You can see right up on the gearbox of Sutil, trying to follow him through turn 12. And he's pretty slow coming into turn 13, but again, we can't get our grip and start to lose the car here coming around turn 13. and fortunately able to catch the car, not at really any risk of losing a position, but the tires are already starting to feel a little bit worn out. So now here on lap 8, 3 laps later, finally able to get around Sutil coming around turn 14, and so we've put in over half a race length, and we are just now in our starting position of P11, so not a great race, but hopefully we can at least compete for a point before it's said and done. Let's see what timing and scoring has to say about that. Didn't have a great lap, and sure enough lost time, so not helping my own cause. Here at the start of lap 10, Daniel Ricciardo on the Toro Rosso. He's got the pace to overtake on the outside. He's going to be able to. Let's see who's got the medal coming down into turn 1 and braking a little bit earlier than him, and you can see just how much of a difference that makes. So now just hoping to cinch up the gap. Here as we downshift through turns 2 and 3, and you can see very close with Ricciardo here. Not going to leave me any room on the inside. Slight contact there. Let's see if we can get on the go coming out of the exit. Remember, that's been our bane this entire race, and once again, not able to make the overtake stick and starting to lose the car. My tires are definitely feeling worn out now. So let's see if we can get around Ricciardo coming down here because of just how slow the braking zone is. And sure enough, able to get around the Toro Rosso to get P11 back, being very ginger with how I get out of the exit. And if there's one thing I've noticed with F1 2013, and as you can see my tires here pretty worn out, with F1 2013 you have to be extremely careful of how you accelerate out of corners, especially in these conditions, and it does have a huge impact on your tire wear. That was definitely a lesson learned in this race as we sort of slide through turn 9 and now trying to get on the gas coming out of turn 10, and Ricciardo still very, very close to us. Hope we can avoid being overtaken on the long back straight. Fortunately able to make up some time and sliding through turn 11, rolling up over the curb. No warning from the stewards, but that was inadvertent, just trying to get my nose pointed in the right direction, and very, very slippy coming around turn 13, and Ricciardo going to have a field day. He's going to be competing with us right at the entry point here, and I'm basically just going to hold my line, and if he overtakes on the inside, so be it. Hopefully we'll get him at the braking point, and I am very concerned about going the race length on these tires. You can see my fuel set to optimal. Let's see what happens coming down into the braking zone, and not too bad actually. Usually slide wide, especially as the tires are getting worn out, and you can see able to get a little bit of a gap, but that gap has evaporated here on lap 12. Ricciardo and I wheel to wheel coming out of turn 10, and it is a 3-car sprint down into turn 11. Hopefully we can outbrake him and not slide off the track, and I hear contact from behind. Sounds like there was some sort of commotion behind us, and you can see that buys us a little bit of a gap, but not able to exploit. Again, problems with grip coming through turn 13, and was really, really hoping that I would see some cars coming in late in the race to go against our tire pit strategy, but no such luck. My tire's almost blood red now, and here comes John-Eric Verne in the Toro Rosso, who was able to overtake his teammate, probably because of the commotion coming down into turn 11, but as you can see, pretty good pace with the Toro Rosso. So as long as we don't slide wide here and give Verne an inside line, which we will not, we will be able to hold P11 for now, but the question is for how long? I'm starting to have problems coming out of every single corner with my tires, a lot of squealing, revving of the engine, and I am not confident at all. You can see sliding around here as Adrian Sutil tries to get around, and I'm not trying to block him. That's honestly me just trying to catch the car and keep some kind of a pace. You can see losing all kinds of time. Here at the start of the final lap, still riding in P11, was able to shave off a little bit of time, but as you can see, it's going to definitely be a lap that's going to require complete defense in order to maintain a P11 finish. And really probably should have pit mid-race, even though no one else did. I have to think that I'd be in a better position than this, at least maybe competing for this spot with overtaking these guys, because you can see here I just have absolutely no grip, none whatsoever, and as a result it's a 3-pony race coming out of the exit and fishtailing all over the track, and somehow able to maintain P11 for now. Hopefully we can get a little bit of a gap expansion coming around this corner to just try and get through this race, and contact from behind, although I don't think I was involved, but it might have been someone trying to move in on the inside that caught the back end of my car. And again, poor exit speed, and here comes Adrian Sutil, but he has to back off coming through turn 7. But in the end, here at turn 13, which has been my problem the entire race, almost taking off Adrian Sutil, dropping 2 positions there, and here comes the Williams on the left-hand side, and contact there with the Williams, tried to move over, trying to block my position. Let's see if we can catch up with the Force India and Toro Rosso. It won't be any kind of an improvement, but it'd be better than dropping to P13 here on the final lap. This is going to be my only opportunity to get around, able to get around Sutil, and wheel-to-wheel with Jean-Eric Verne coming out of the exit, but again, problems getting out, and not going to get around him, and there goes Sutil, and here comes Bottas, and suddenly P13 in jeopardy, but now Bottas slowing down coming around turn 16 as long as we don't slide off track, and thankfully at least able to fend off the Williams to get the P13, but obviously extremely disappointing sequence as we came through our last run at turn 13, and that was the difference in the race. I've never had more difficulty racing on tires than I have in this race, and that's for the entire F1 franchise. So definitely an eye-opener, but at least able to finish in the top 15, I guess, taking a look at the race results. And I think my biggest takeaway from this is that regardless of what the pit strategy is, if your tires are that bad, you just have to go in. I mean, I may not have finished any better, but that was extremely brutal trying to fend off cars for that long and just having absolutely no way to really build any kind of a gap and kind of making a fool of myself. But hey, that's what you live and learn for here in F1 2013. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Hope you have enjoyed it. I think we can at least be assured that we're going to have a dry race at Bahrain, so hopefully we can wash the taste of this race out of our mouth and make some hay on the season. So I'll leave you guys with the last sequence here of utter failure. See just how close it was here at the end. But anyway, I'll hope to see you guys at Bahrain. Thanks again for watching. See you then.